Last month, something happened that changed the way I look at my own home forever. Imagine feeling completely safe, only to discover you were never alone. What I'm about to tell you still gives me chills. It all started one lazy Saturday afternoon. I was binge watching my favorite series in my room, half asleep on my bed, when I heard it. At first, I thought it was just the neighbor's dog or maybe the wind knocking something over. I shrugged it off and kept watching my show. But then, about 20 minutes later, I heard it again. This time, it was coming from inside my house. Specifically, from my closet. I froze. The sound wasn't loud, but it was distinct, like fabric brushing against something. Now, I live alone. No roommates, no pets, and my closet isn't exactly big enough to house anything, or anyone, for that matter. So, naturally, my first instinct was to think, is someone in there? I didn't want to jump to conclusions. Maybe I had too much caffeine earlier, and my imagination was running wild. I decided to be brave, or maybe stupid, and slowly walked over to the closet. With every step, my heartbeat got louder. I placed my hand on the door handle, hesitated for a second, then yanked it open. Nothing, just my clothes hanging neatly and a pile of shoes. I let out a nervous laugh, shaking my head. Great job, brain, I thought. I closed the door and went back to my bed, feeling a little ridiculous. Hours passed, and I started to forget about the whole thing. Until bedtime. I turned off the lights, slid under my blanket, and just as I was about to fall asleep, the sound was coming from the closet. But this time, it wasn't faint. It was deliberate. I sat there, paralyzed. My phone was on the nightstand, but it felt miles away. The only light in the room came from the dim glow of the street lamp outside. And then, the door handle of the closet moved. I swear, I stopped breathing. Someone or something was inside. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and whispered, "Who's there?" No response. Gathering all the courage I could muster, I threw open the closet door. And there he was, a man, in his late 30s, with greasy hair, wild eyes, and a grin that made my stomach turn. He was crouched between my clothes, clutching a knife. I screamed louder than I ever have in my life and bolted out of the room, locking myself in the bathroom and calling 911. The police arrived within minutes. They arrested the man, who, as it turned out, had been living in my house for 2 weeks. He'd entered through an unlocked window while I was out one night. They found a small setup in the attic, a sleeping bag, empty food wrappers, and even some of my own clothes. But the scariest part? He had a journal. In it, he'd been documenting everything I did, what time I left for work, what time I came home, even what I ate for dinner. Now, I triple-check every lock and window before I sleep. But sometimes, I still wake up in the middle of the night, expecting to hear those faint sounds again. If you ever hear something strange in your home, don't ignore it. Because sometimes, the scariest things are the ones you don't see. Have you ever had a creepy experience like this? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to share this video to remind everyone to stay safe.